When I began this project some 10 to 15 years ago, I placed upon myself a restriction. That restriction was that the focus of this website was to be the text. There was to be no preaching. No, and the moral of the story is, or from this we learn that, which unfortunately is the bulk of the content of most pontifications that emanate the weekly internet Parshat HaShavua. I will, however, make one exception, this set of panels to Parshat Kadoshim, one that is built upon my understanding of the Rebbe's insight to Rashi's commentary to Vayikra 1914, the prohibition of V'lifnei iver lo titein michshol. In the final two paragraphs of this SICHAH, the Rebbe links the interpretation provided by Rashi to Vayikra 1918, a mere 4 pasukim later, that contains the all-important mitzvah of V'yahavta l'riacha kamocha. Before going there, I should like to include a segment from the newest edition, as of 2018, of English renditions to the text of the Chamisha Chumshei Torah, the KEHOT chumash. KEHOT is the official publishing branch of the Chabad movement, and while I very often refer to the Gutnik chumash, this publication, to my understanding, is a private venture, as I shall demonstrate. The KEHOT chumash, although having the same goal as the Gutnik chumash, takes on a very different format, and once again, as far as I am concerned, each can play an important role for those wishing to undertake a serious study of the chumash text. The blurb that accompanies the introduction to the KEHOT chumash set states that this is a new translation or commentary which weaves Rashi's commentary, as per the Rebbe's understanding of Rashi, together with the translation of the Torah text. And this forms one clear, smooth and easy reading body, accessible even to the beginner and informative to all. In the commentary to Vayikra 1914, we have a rather lengthy translation/commentary. The translation is presented in bold type. Interspersed between the bold type translation is the paraphrasing of the commentary Rashi to that particular piece of text. The first of the 3 stanzas, V'lifnei iver lo titein michshol, you must not figuratively place an obstacle before a blind person. In other words, when you perceive that someone not fully informed or aware of the issues surrounding a particular situation, you must not give him advice that is in your best interest rather than his, even if your advice is not to his detriment. In other words, the prohibition, firstly, is not placing a physical obstacle in front of a blind person. One would not require the chumash to have a special prohibition against one doing such an immoral act. And secondly, the issue here is not prohibition against giving bad advice, but rather giving advice that is self-serving. Once again, reading into the text, even though you may be able to deceive other people into believing that your advice was in his best interest, you cannot deceive me, which is the preamble to the statement of you must therefore fear your God. And thirdly, the concluding statement, Ani Hashem, I am God, who may be relied upon to punish you if you transgress this prohibition. Having studied the Rebbe's analysis of the commentary of Rashi to this passage, I think one can agree with the assertion that the translation weaves Rashi's commentary together with the translation to the point that it forms one clear, smooth and easy reading body. There is, however, a caveat, and that is that clearly one needs to undertake the actual study of the text of Rashi to fully appreciate the nuances that are embedded into the translation. In other words, it short-circuits the need to actually undertake the study of the Rashi text, and in doing so, there is the danger of limiting the understanding and interpretation of the Chumash text to a single commentary. However, as mentioned earlier, both approaches to the presentation of Rashi's commentary to the Chumash text have a role to play in the study of the Chamisha Chumshei Torah. For those interested in the KEHOT chumash, it is available at the link that has been provided. And now on to the lesson that the Rebbe draws from the commentary of Rashi to the V'lifnei iver and its carryover into the mitzvah of V'yahavta l'riacha kamocha.